Hilchos Chametz Umatzah Perek Shlishi. The laws of Chametz and Matzah, chapter 3. We're continuing the topic of B'dikat Chametz, checking of the Chametz. Yesterday we learned about the obligation, how to check, and what happens if you have doubts that arise in the process of checking. Today we go to the next part of the process. What do you do after you check? So the Rambam says, Halacha Aleph, Kishaboidek Adam u'mechapes b'leili arba'a asar. When a person checks for Chametz, and he finds the Chametz in his house on the night of the 14th of Nisan, so he takes out all the Chametz that he found from the holes, from the hidden crevices, from the corners, and he puts everything together, and he leaves it in one place till the beginning of the 6th hour of the day of the 14th of Nisan, and then you destroy it. We'll see at the end of the chapter how you destroy it. Today we know you burn it, but we're going to talk about that. It's not so simple. If you want to destroy it on the night of the 14th, when you finish finding the Chametz, you destroy it then. By the way, I should note, most homes in those days were only like one room, like a studio apartment. People didn't clean for Pesach for a month before. You know, they actually checked for Chametz on the night of that was it. Like that one night, they went around their house, checked for the Chametz, whatever they found, they put into a pile, and they destroyed it the next day.
So it was one room?
It was one room. It was a studio.
What about the pots and pans?
Huh?
Pots and pans.
Pots and pans they would kosher.
Just their single room by themselves.
Yeah, or change it. Yeah.
The sheep and
No, the goats and the sheep were outdoors, and they slept inside. Today we have big homes, so we clean in advance, and actually, at the point of B'dikat Chametz, most homes are already clean. We actually have to put out pieces of bread, right, to find them, because we clean out all the chametz. But the point is, when you do b'dikas chametz, so you take it all out and then you burn it or destroy it the next day. Beis. Chametz shemaniach b'leili arba'a asar. Any chametz that you put aside on the night of the 14th, kadei sheyochal mimenu lemachar ad arba shoyis, that you're going to eat the next day for breakfast, because you're allowed to eat on the 14th of Nisan, you can eat till 4 hours in the day. So whatever you put aside, all the cereal that you put for breakfast or the bread, you're going to make yourself, a French toast. You aren't allowed to, and you shouldn't, leave it all over the place in your kitchen or in every place. Put it into a vessel or in a corner specifically, and be careful. You can see in the picture. You hang your bag from the roof. Nobody can get to it. It's just sitting there, your chametz. Because you know what's going to happen if you're not going to be careful, and then the next morning you come to check out your bread and it's missing some bread. You're going to have to check your entire house again. Maybe the mice dragged it away, like we saw yesterday. So better keep it all, gathered up in one specific place. You'll know where it is the next day, and you have it for breakfast and destroy the rest. Gimel chol arba asar liyas b'Shabbos. If the 14th of Nisan fell out to be on Shabbos, so of course you can't check for chametz the night before. You can't handle candles, and you can't destroy it on the Shabbos either. We had this case actually 3 years ago. So what do? Boitkin esa chametz b'leilei erev Shabbos. We check for chametz on the night before Friday, Thursday night, shehu leil shloisha asar, which is the night of the 13th of Nisan. Umaniach min hachametz, and you leave some of the chametz, whatever you're going to eat, k'dei lechal mimenu ad arba shoyos b'yom haShabbos. So you can have a meal Friday night, a meal Shabbos morning. Umaniche b'makom mutzna, leave it in a hidden place. The hashar mevare milifnei haShabbos, and whatever is left, you burn before Shabbos on Friday. If you're left over with chametz, let's say you ate the Shabbos morning meal and you didn't finish all your challah. So now what do? You can't burn it. Mevatloi. What you do is, according to the Rambam, you cancel it in your heart, give it no importance. The koife olav kli, and then cover it with a vessel. Ad matzah yom tov harisha, until after the first day of holiday, or mevare, and then destroy it during Pesach. Today, with plumbing, we have the option of flushing it down the toilet, which is what we did a couple of years ago. What you do is you can't burn on Shabbat, but you can just get it out of your property by putting it down the plumbing tubes. Dalid hoyuloi kikaris rabbis shel truma. If you had many loaves of truma, okay, I love this slide. You have it all the time. Tevel is untithed produce, and a farmer has an obligation to give a number of gifts from his produce: 2% to the Kohen, 10% to the Levi, another 10% either to the poor, or take to Jerusalem. So let's say a Kohen has a bunch of loaves of truma. Over time, people give him crops. He made a bunch of loaves, and he's consuming it, slowly but surely. But it comes Erev Pesach, he has to get rid of them all. He can't keep them; they're the actual chametz. So what do? V'tzarich l'sarfa Erev Shabbos, and you have to burn it on the eve of Shabbos, in the case where Erev Pesach falls out on Shabbos. Lo ya'arev ha'tahira im ha'tamei v'yisraf. Just because you're getting rid of all your chametz, it's not an excuse to mix pure truma with impure truma. We're going to have this later in the laws of truma, in the 7th book of the Rambam, and in the laws of ritual impurity, in the 10th book of the Rambam, that when food that's impure touches other food that's pure, the impurity transfers to the pure food. And when it comes to truma, since the Torah calls it kodesh, it calls it holy, you're not allowed to actively make it impure. Any other food, there's no problem. If my cup is here, and I want to touch it to an impure other cup, it's okay. It's going to be governed by certain laws, but there's no problem. With truma, there's a problem. You can't actively make it impure. So what should this Kohen do? He has to make 2 fires.
But it's all pure from the beginning.
Oh, then he's good. But if he has a bunch of pure and a bunch of impure, don't say, oh, now I'm burning my chametz anyway, I'll put it all into one pile. No. You have to burn impure truma on its own, pure truma on its own, utluya la'atzma. Even if there's doubtful status of truma, you don't know if it touched something bad or something good, a 3rd bonfire. You have to burn it on its own. Umaniach min ha'tohira kedei lechal ad arba shoyis b'yom haShabbos bilvad. And then you leave only from the pure truma, because that's all you can consume. A Kohen can only eat pure truma. He leaves it till the next morning, whatever he's going to eat, and then on Shabbos, the rest of it you either finish in your mouth or you cover it with a utensil and burn it after holiday. Hey, misha shachach ay hazid v'loy badak b'leil arba asar. What if you forgot? Or purposely, you say, forget it. I'm not going to search for chametz on the night of the 14th when you're supposed to. Baydek arba asar b'Shacharis. The rabbis are lenient with you. They say the next day, check in the morning for chametz. Loy badak b'Shacharis. If you didn't check in the morning, baydek b'shas habir. Check again at midday when you're about to burn the chametz. Loy badak b'shas habir. You didn't check during the time of burning the chametz. Baydek b'sei chachag. Keep on going. Check during the holiday of Pesach. At least get rid of it from your property. Avar haregel v'loy badak. If even the holiday passed, Pesach is over, you didn't check. Baydek achar haregel. You must check after holiday. Why? So you can destroy whatever you find of the chametz that passed Pesach. Yesterday and 2 days ago we saw that if chametz stays over Pesach in your property, it's forbidden to have benefit from it. So you must find it after the holiday so you can get rid of it.
So you're talking about the Chol Moed, or you're talking about the...
Well, first Chol HaMoed, both. If you missed the first day of holiday, check during Chol HaMoed. If you missed Chol HaMoed, check after holiday. Because you have to find whatever chametz is there, otherwise you're going to transgress the prohibition. Selling is tomorrow. We're talking about selling tomorrow. When you are checking your chametz, whenever it is, in the right time, night of the 14th, the wrong time, afterwards, the day of the 14th, during holiday, you must make a blessing before you begin to check. He has commanded us about the destruction of the chametz. After you make the blessing, you go and check and search all the places that you know that you brought in chametz there. As we explained. But if you're in that category who's checking for the chametz after the holiday, you're not actually destroying anything. You're just finding it to know what not to use. So you can't make a blessing on that. When you finish checking, if you checked in the right time, night of the 14th, or even in the morning of the 14th, before 6 hours, before the time of burning, in addition to checking for the chametz, you have to nullify and cancel your ownership over any chametz left in your property which you did not see. Remember, biblically the mitzvah is to destroy it from your heart. The whole idea of checking is rabbinic. So once you finish checking for chametz, you have to also in addition do the biblical mitzvah and cancel the chametz. V'yomer, and you say, and the Rambam has the text in Hebrew, Kol chametz sheyesh birshusi, any chametz in my possession, shaloi re'isi, which I did not see in my process of checking, harehu batel v'harehu ka'afar. It's canceled and it's like dust. Today in the Haggadah, if you check, yes, we have it in Aramaic. See, kol chamira v'chamia, the ika birshuti. Any yeast or leaven that I have, b'lo chamise is in Aramaic, means I didn't see it. Ud'la v'arte, or I didn't destroy it. Li batel v'leheve hefker ka'afra da'ara. It should be canceled and ownerless, like the dust of the earth. We add that word, dust of the earth. Because in Job, in the book of Eov, there's a word that says afrot zahav, dust of gold. So dust could be gold. So we say dust of the earth to show that we're talking about real dust. And then in the morning you say it again with a little bit of a different text before you actually burn it. But this is when you're doing it at night.
Why Aramaic versus Hebrew?
It was composed during Talmudic times. So most Jews spoke Aramaic. But the halacha is even today in Shulchan Aruch, it says, if you don't understand Aramaic, you must say it in a language you understand. Either Hebrew, the Rambam wrote his book in Hebrew, so he has most of it in Hebrew. But today you would say it in English. You have to say it the way you understand. But if you're checking for your chametz after the time that it's already supposed to be burned, 6 hours into the day and onwards, you don't have the authority to cancel your ownership because it's no longer in your possession, because it's already become forbidden for benefit. The rabbis took it out of your possession, so you don't own it anymore. So you can't say, I'm declaring it ownerless. It's already ownerless. It's out of your possession. Therefore, let's say you did not say this text before 6 hours arrived, and after 6 hours you find some chametz that you actually knew about, you were aware of, it was in your heart, you had simply forgotten it during the time of destruction and you didn't burn it, you transgressed the prohibitions of not finding chametz and not seeing chametz in your property, because you didn't destroy the chametz and you didn't cancel it. You have to declare it, verbally cancel, verbally nullify. Now, at this point in the day, saying that you don't care about it is not going to help you. Because again, it isn't in your possession anymore. The rabbis took it out of your possession. The Torah only considers it in your property insofar as to make you liable for the avera of keeping it in your property. And you have to destroy it whenever you find it. So the Torah is like kind of pulling it at both sides. It doesn't give you the authority to nullify it. For that, it's out of your property. But then we say it's in your property in that you transgress the avera. So we give you all the stringencies. What do you do if you find chametz on holiday? During the Seder, you find the cookie under the shelf. Just cover it with a utensil till the evening after holiday and destroy it. If it's a sanctified, consecrated object, you don't have to cover it with a utensil because anyways, everybody's going to separate themselves from it. The whole idea of chametz, why we put it aside, because we're worried people are going to get confused. But if it's hekdesh, if it's holy, nobody touches holy things. So you can leave it even on the shelf and then burn it afterwards. Let's say Erev Pesach in the morning, you leave your house before the time of destruction, before the time of 6 hours, and you went to do a mitzvah. Or you went to be part of a mitzvah meal, like a betrothal or a wedding meal. And boom, you remember, you have chametz in your house. This happened to me last year. I went to do a bris on Erev Pesach morning. I had checked for my chametz, had the bag ready to go burn, put it in my car, and I went to the bris. At the bris, it's coming the time for burning the chametz, and I remembered I have chametz in my car. What do I do? What do you do? So the Rambam says, Im yachal lachzer levayer v'lachzer lemitzvah. So if you can get back home, destroy the chametz and go back to the mitzvah, yachzer, you should do that. V'im lav yavatel b'libay, and if not, you just cancel it in your heart. So the chametz was in my car, so I was able to go. There was a Chabad shliach right nearby. So what did I do? So I went to the nearby shliach. In his backyard, he had a little fire going. Yes. I threw it in, and I went back to the bris. So it's good.
Okay. By the way, you must levaer. Levaer can be also.
No, you have to actively destroy it. We'll see. We'll see in a second. He'll soon see. Yotza lahatzil miyad hagayis. What happens if you went to go save Jews from the hands of an oncoming army? Min hanohar, or from a river, a raging river. Min hadleiko, min amapoilos, or from a fire, from an avalanche. Yivatel b'libay v'daya. New York is full of this flooding right now as we speak. Exactly. So you just have to cancel it in your heart, and you're enough. Here we don't even say you should go back because you're in the middle of doing pikuach nefesh. You're saving lives. So use the excuse of, or use the loophole, the workaround, the option of just canceling it in your heart. Yotza l'tzayrech atzma. If you went just for your own need to go grocery shopping, the nizkar sheyesh lechametz b'seich beis, and you remember you have chametz in your house, yachzer miyad, you must come back right away. Ba'ad kama hu chayzer, for how much chametz do you have to go back? Ad kabetza, till an egg size. Haya pachis mikabetza, if you had less than an egg size of chametz, mevatle b'libay v'daya, it's simply enough to cancel it in your heart, and that's enough.
This is assuming it's before the time.
Yes, all before the time. Yod mishahiniach isa migulgeles b'seich beisay v'yatza. A person left aside a dough that was rolled. It's in the middle of rising in his house, and he leaves. V'nizkar achar sheyatza v'hu yeshev lifnei rabbi. He remembers after he left, but he's sitting in front of his teacher. He went to class, Erev Yom Kippur morning. And the rabbi is lecturing with a long, long sermon. And he's sitting, and of course he's like a good Jewish listener, he's spacing out during the sermon. And he remembers he has his dough sitting in his house. Oi, if I don't get up now, it's going to become chametz. Just use the option in your heart. Cancel it in your heart. You're learning Torah now? Stay here. But if you know that enough time already passed, the dough already became chametz, what you're going to do now is not going to help you to cancel it. You've already transgressed the prohibitions of not seeing, not finding chametz in your property. And the moment you come back, destroy it, get rid of the chametz. Yud Aleph, Ketzad Bir Chametz. Okay, what destroying chametz? How does it work? How do you destroy chametz? So the optimal option is mevare, surfei. I'm sorry, you burn it.
Why don't you just sell it before you do anything?
Selling we're gonna see tomorrow. How come it's not going to my picture of burning chametz? Okay,
It's on fire.
it's on fire. Doesn't like my picture. Okay, fine. Surfei, you burn it. Or you crumble it and throw it to the wind, or throw it into the sea. Those are all viable options of destruction.
Throw it into the wind on your property?
No, not on your property. Go outside and just chuck it. If the chametz is tough and the sea won't dissolve it quickly, first crumble it, then throw it into the sea. If chametz had an avalanche fall over it, and there are 3 or more handbreadths of dirt covering it, it's considered destroyed. If the 6th hour hasn't come yet, you must still cancel it in your heart, but you don't have to go check for it and destroy it. It's already destroyed. If you had given away your chametz to the goy before the 6th hour, you don't have to destroy it. This is already where we see the seeds. Tomorrow we're going to talk about it more. But the seeds for selling the chametz are over here. Because if a non-Jew owns your chametz, you're good. So here it's talking about gifting, but you can also sell it. Now, if you burnt the chametz properly before the 6th hour, you can use the charcoal or the ashes created on Pesach. The ashes aren't considered chametz. But if you burnt it late, after the 6th hour, since the whole mixture of chametz is now forbidden for benefit, do not use this ash or this charcoal to light a fire in an oven or a stove. Don't cook with it, don't bake with it. If you did cook or bake with it, the bread and the dish is forbidden to have benefit from it. And the ash is also forbidden for benefit, since you're burning it in a time when it's already forbidden to derive benefit from it.